It's me. Oh, nicotine gum. Sorry about that. I always forget. All right, so what are we doing? I wanted to do an unboxing of that. Can you believe that? I can't even believe that. Here we go. I made the mistake of showing this on the live stream last night, and everybody was just screaming for me to open it. That wasn't fair. I didn't mean to tease you like that. But this is only a few hours later. I mean, how long are those live streams? 8, 9 hours? They usually run until Applebee's closes. Look, I'm not a huge Applebee's guy. I mean, I used to work there back when I was just a tyke. But it's not like I get emails and comments like, dude, what's the Applebee's? You know, like I'm trash or something. First of all, Applebee's is fine. It's not trash. I'm hearing an echo through these. Let's get these out of the way. It's just that's what's open late and close. So the food is warm when it gets here. It wouldn't be my first choice. There's actually a bar not too far away. It's like the trashiest bar ever, but they have the best burgers, which is how it goes, right? On the outside, it looks like garbage, but food's actually great. But they close at like 9 o'clock on a bar in Las Vegas. Maybe it's just the kitchen. I don't know. All right. So this thing, I guess it's bigger than the silver one. We got, I might as well. So it comes with a little piece of foam. Then there's that. And something just fell. Just like the live streams, these are not professional either. Let me see what fell. It's a business card. Let me read it first before I hold it to the camera, because you never know. That's upside down. This was packaged with care by Rick. Come on, focus. There you go. You know what? Read it. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honored to take part in recognizing your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This package was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. He's the best one. Whenever you get one of these, you're hoping that Rick is the one who packages it. If your award was damaged during shipping or you have any questions, contact us. All right, no, it's fine. I'm still getting echo through the headphones. Maybe, can I turn it off? Hang on, let me see. Are we still there? All right, that's working. Where were we? Is this interesting? I feel like this is boring. Although I watched, when I was starting out, I watched these unboxing videos like, oh man, someday. All right, so we got that. It's trying to eat me. Should have brought my glasses. Look, perfect eyesight. I had perfect eyesight for my first 40-something years. I mean, perfect. And now every day it's getting, my arms aren't long enough to read things. And it's not helping with the constant writing, researching, and editing. I could feel my eyes going downhill rapidly. So all you youngsters out there making fun, it's just a matter of time. The bell tolls for thee. If you took one step for each subscriber, okay, this is going to be philosophical. And this is signed by Susan Wojcicki. Is that really signed by her? I don't think it is. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it starts off with, if you took one step for each subscriber you have, do you know how far that would get you? For starters, over 13 times around the perimeter of Beijing, or 14 times around Paris, or 15 times around New York. That's because you have over 1 million subscribers. But your influence stretches beyond that of a single city. All right. Now we're just measuring perimeters of cities with steps. All right, so is there anything else? Oh, it's heavy. All right, let's get the box. Let's get the box out of here. Am I even recording? Okay. Can you see that? That's in this now. Do not eat. Okay. So, for me, it's Applebee's or nothing. There's more shit, more stuff. More stuff is falling out. This is recognize your team. Share the recognition by allowing your team to purchase a personalized creator award. I don't know what that means. You could buy these? I guess you could buy them. I'm trying to make this dramatic, but it's fighting me. Ready? Okay. The Wild Files surpassing 1 million subscribers. Can you read that? Crap. I don't know how to getting over. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, so we got to put that somewhere on the set. Is it even gonna fit? Hang on, let's see. Oh, it's huge. It's too big. It's too big. We may not even be able to use it on the set, which there are so many channels that don't put the button on the set because it's just too big. But that's cool. Oh, the mic is super hot. I'm going to lower it now. See if we'll fix it in post. I don't know if that. How long have I been going? 6 minutes? I wonder if that audio is just ruined. Well, it's open now. The genie's out of the bottle. All right, so 1 million subscribers. That's crazy. It really is. I didn't expect. I expected to get to 1 million subs at some point, but I thought it would take like 4 or 5 years. And what's weird is it feels like it happened really, really fast. Things really picked up, and channel was super slow for 2 years. It picked up in May with the shorts. I mean, if you watched my end of the year Thanks a Million video, I kind of go over this, so I won't do it again. Go watch that one. I mean, it's monetized. Go watch that one. But this happened really fast. It started in May, and then it kind of went bananas in like June, July, August, and then October was crazy. November slowed down. December was kind of slow comparatively, and then January was bananas. I think we added like 250,000 subscribers in January. I'm not getting choked up. Should I get some coffee? Let me get some coffee. You mind waiting? It's right here. Hang on. See, it was right there. I probably should be drinking this out of a Hecklefish mug, right? Gotta plug the merch. Let's get this crap out of here. If you want to support your favorite YouTube channel, go to shop.thewildfiles.com. I'm not going to do I get yelled at for doing the plugs on the live streams. But look, you got to make a living doing this. It's not easy to make a living doing this. So yeah, it grew really fast. So here's a quick story. I don't know. It interesting to me. So last week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe last week, Joe Scott, who many of you know, we have a lot of crossover audience, was doing his 100,000 subscriber live stream celebration for his second channel, which is his TMI channel where he just talks about stuff. And I subscribed to that channel. I subscribed to all Joe's stuff. I've watched him for a long time, as I've said many times. So I popped in there and just said, hey, congratulations. There wasn't a ton of people in there, so it was easy for him to see my comment. Maybe 300 people on the stream. And he said, hey, man, someone ratted and told you. And I was like, what? I didn't know what he meant by that. And he said, we were talking about you and saying that you do a great job. And then his stream ended a few minutes after that. I was like, oh, well, no one ratted. I got a notification because I'm a subscriber, and I just jumped on to say congrats. Because look, when I was starting out, there were a lot of YouTubers I watched to, inspiration, help. So I talk about Nick Nimmons, I talk about Daniel Batal. Those guys were great for understanding YouTube. Like, here's how important thumbnails are, and here's how to answer your comments. Here's how to deal with haters. Very YouTube specific stuff. Here, Daniel Batal, here's how life work balance, which, good luck. There's no way to do that. I basically live in the studio here. I live in the dump of a studio, and I go home to visit. I go home to visit my wife. She hates when I say that, but it's kind of how it feels. So those are two guys I watched to learn about YouTube, how YouTube works. I watched a ton of people, but those two come to mind, and I like their personalities. So I still check in on their channels, even though, if they're like trying to teach me how to do, how to do a transition in Adobe Premiere, I don't need you to tell me that, but I still watch because I like them. So those were two guys that I watched, and then there were content channels I watched. For I don't know, like Joe's channel was one of those, like I just liked what he was doing. His channel is mostly science. He does some weird stories like we do, but mostly science. And he's a funny personality. And I like that because so much of the sciencey stuff is often very dry. So I like Joe's, Veritasium, all these channels that probably subscribe to. I watched a lot of that stuff. Now, before I started this channel, I didn't really watch a ton of YouTube. A little bit of it, but I didn't realize until I started doing this how big YouTube is as far in the media space. Coming from traditional corporate media, YouTube was always like second tier to me. And years ago, people said, "Oh, you should start a YouTube channel," because I used to do stupid little short videos and stuff when I first moved to LA, and videos of my stand-up and all kinds of stuff like that, which I'm not going to show you. And people would say, "Oh, that's funny. You should put it on YouTube. Put it on YouTube." And I always thought YouTube was like for stupid cat videos and stuff. I didn't know that it was as big as it was until pretty recently, and then realized like, oh, more people watch YouTube than watch everything else. So when I started doing the channel, I watched more and more YouTube, pretty much more than anything else, more than Netflix or anything like that. Sorry, it's now choking and now phlegm. This isn't professional at all. What do I got, 12 minutes? All right, I got to wrap it up. So Joe says, we were talking about you do a great job. So his stream ends, and now, of course, I have to scroll back and see what is he talking about. Someone in his chat said, "Hey, do you watch the Y-Files?" AJ says he's a big fan of your show, which is true. And he says, "Oh, honestly, I haven't really watched very much, but he seems to do an okay job." When I was on the stream, I was doing a great job. But before I was on the stream, it was like, oh, he's fine. And it's all good. So anyway, Joe's stream ends, and that's fine. That's great. And I even got a kick out of having Joe, shout out the Y-Files on his stream. It's fun. Even as a big YouTube channel, which is, I guess, the Y-Files is, I still get a kick out of other people. Like if I'm on a live stream and someone reads my super chat, I'm super excited by it. So that's why I try to read as many super chats as I can on the live streams, because it's just fun to have the creator shout your name out. So I got a kick out of it. So a day or two later, I get a direct message in my Twitter. By the way, you could follow me on Twitter. It's OMG the Y-Files. I'm on there almost every day, except days like Fridays after a premiere. I'm spent. I can hardly do anything. So I get a DM from Joe saying, he said something like, "Honestly, my feed hasn't been putting a lot of your videos my way, but after my audience talked about it, I went back and looked at your channel, and can we get on a Zoom call?" I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Because and here's what I responded to Joe. I said, "Of course." I said, your videos have been so helpful to me. I feel like I owe you, because they were. His TMI channel helped me with lots of stuff. From the different perspective than the quote unquote YouTube experts. Here was an actual creator, and Joe's very transparent about what he's going through. Like when he was having trouble or forgot to, or whatever it was with his taxes with the channel, I file that away. Like, all right, I got to keep an eye on that. Joe was pretty upset in that video. Let me keep an eye on it. So that kind of stuff. So I respond to his DM of course. And I said, "By the way, I emailed you like 4 or 5 months ago to see if you just wanted to do something together, because at the time, maybe it was longer than that. At the time I was living in Plano, and I don't know exactly where Joe lives, but I know he's somewhere in the Dallas area. So close, 20 minutes. And when I watch his videos, when he's doing like his funny intros, which I think are great, it's always him talking to himself. Because when you're a one-man show, you do everything. I mean, look, there's nobody here. Hecklefish is back there, but he's asleep. So I was telling Joe, look, so you don't have to talk to yourself. I'll just show up with like my camera gear, and you could do your thing if you need another actor to throw in there. I didn't hear back from him, which is fine. I didn't really expect to. There's no way that you can answer all the email that you get from people. So I told him that, and he responds something like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry I get so much email." And I'm like, no. I'm not saying that to make you feel guilty. I'm saying that because of course, I'll get on a Zoom call with you because I'm a fan and I've been wanting to work with you for months. So we set up a call. We talked for like 90 minutes. Now, if you're a fan of Joe's, you'll be happy to know that he's just like he is. You know, his personality, like in a private conversation, is just like his videos, which is nice. And I kind of expected that. His sincerity shows through. You know, authenticity is the word that comes up a lot with YouTube. Like, it's so important to be authentic because people can see right through it. Now, when I do the live streams, that's me. That's my authentic self. I amp up my energy just because there's thousands of people on there and I want to be entertaining. Even my energy right now it's turned up a little bit because Fridays are really hard. Fridays I'm very low energy, but since I'm talking to you, I crank it up a little bit. So it's not so boring. And then on live streams, I crank it up as high as I can sustain it for, 2, 3, 4 hours, however long we go. So anyway, Joe is just like himself, which I kind of expected, but it was still cool. And I wasn't sure what he wanted to talk about. I assumed it was to do some type of collab or crossover, which I was excited about. And I pitched that to him. I kicked around a couple of ideas. I don't think he's really into it, which is fine. He doesn't really do collabs. I don't really do them either. But it was, if there was one person to do it, or if I had a short list of 4 or 5 creators, he would be on it. So that's not what he wanted to talk about. He goes, he says, so, like, okay. So I went back and looked at your channel. And he says, I looked at your channel. I looked at your stats on Social Blade. What's your secret? And I was like, whoa. I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting him to ask me for my secret. Now, I'm not saying he was asking me for advice or anything. If in case this video gets back to him, which it probably will. Hey, Joe. He doesn't need any advice from me. I think his curiosity was, why is the Y-Files growing so fast? Or why, up until this point, who knows? It could crash tomorrow. I don't know. Which I told him, I'm enjoying the ride, but who knows when the ride's over. So when he asked me that, what's my secret? I had to take a minute. I wasn't exactly sure. I think the writing is good, but I don't think my writing is exceptionally better than other people. I think I put a lot of effort into if someone's watching a Y-Files video, how can I write this to make it as engaging as possible? Oh, everyone does that, but engaging like for the duration. You don't want your videos to have a second act problem. So that's why there's little cliffhangers and teases and stuff. And it's not for watch time. Watch time is great, but that's not why I do that. It's not a scam. I don't clickbait. I'm not baiting you just to keep you on. I write it to be dramatic. Those little cliffhangers at the end before the red logo pops up, those chapter markers. It's just so I could end on like an exciting note. So I said, my writing, I guess, is pretty good. My production quality is good because I was a professional editor and a producer and all those things that you already know. So I'm handy in the software, but so many people are. There's better editors than I am on YouTube. I know that because I watch them, giving tutorials so I can learn new stuff. So I just, I struggled with how to answer that. And what it ended up being was, Joe, I think it's my community and my community building skills. And I don't even know if it's a skill. It's the attention I put into it. And when I say community, I mean the audience, of course, that watches the videos, that leaves comments. I try to respond to as many people as I can. Before it got channel got so busy, I made it a point to respond to every single comment. And I did that for like 2 years. If you left a comment, it was important for me to respond to you. And when you do that, you create a relationship with those people. Because it happens when I leave a comment on some creator's video, if they respond to me, it's awesome. And then now I'm in, now I'm a fan. So I'm telling him, I try to build my community. I cultivate it. There's the moderators like on the Discord server. If you're not on Discord, go check out thewhyfiles.com/Discord. It's a lot of fun. Our moderators, folks like Victoria and Daniel and Original Jim and everyone that I'm forgetting, that just kind of manage all the audience on Discord and in the live chat and in the comments. These are great people. And they know it's important to me that if you're a Y-Files watcher, I hate to say fan, but if you watch the channel, that I want you to be a part of it. And this is some of the stuff I told Joe. And one of the reasons for doing this video is so if there's a creator out there that was in my place 2 or 3 years ago, here are some tips that might help you. So like our merch, most creators, their merch is just, it's their channel logo or it's just little stuff and things. And by the way, creators, your merch is too expensive. I'm not paying $30 for a shirt. I don't care how great you are. 25 and below, please. But like our merch is catchphrases from the show. So, Fear the Crab Cat. If you didn't watch that episode like closely, you have no idea what this is. There's no Y-Files logo on here. The Fear the Crab Cat shirt there's no indication that it's from a YouTube channel at all. So it's an inside joke. So when people are running into each other, like on the street in the wild, seeing Y-Files merch, which is amazing that happens, but it's happening. They're like, hey, you're one of us. It feels like we're part of something that the people that watch the channel, and I don't mean like if 1 million people watch the video, 99% of them are just people just watching stuff. I mean, the people like you watching this, it feels like you're part of it. The channel is all of us. And that's what I wanted it to be. So I told him, if something funny happens on the show, or even within the community, a new catchphrase emerges, or, a fan creates some amazing art. I said that goes on the merch and it just becomes part of the show's personality. So lizard people is something that Hecklefish said very early on because, he's a conspiracy nut. But now whenever there's a reptilian story or something comes up, then lizard people, he has to get excited about it. It's part of the personality of the show. So there's lots of that stuff. So this is what I told him. I think it's the community around the channel, because these people are so invested emotionally in what we're doing here. They become evangelists for the show. They go and they tell their family and friends, and they tell them things like, I sent AJ an email and he wrote me back right away. Or, I asked for this birthday message for my daughter and Hecklefish did it. Or my dad is dying and he's a huge Y-Files fan and he'd love, AJ to say hello, which I do, which I've done a few times for people that were in a bad way, and happy to still do that. With the Patreons, the same thing. I can't respond to every email I get, but Patreon members, if you send me a message through there, I try to get to you as quickly as I can. I've been falling behind because I'm out of gas. But I spent 6 hours yesterday just responding. And a lot of it is just, I love the show and it's just, thanks. I appreciate your support. But some of those in there were like, my son has long COVID and he's 11 and your show's the only thing that, brings a smile to his face. So then I go out of my way, if I can, to do something for him. Send custom hoodies to kids that are in a bad way, which I do whenever I can. Liam, if you're watching this, you looked great in your hoodie. And when I send merch like that to the kids, I don't tell anyone. I don't tell the parents. Don't tell anyone it's coming. I don't really brag about. I'm telling you because we're talking about this, but I don't really tell anybody. It's just it just shows up in the mail, and the emails I get from the parents are amazing. I just got one yesterday. that was basically, you, sir, have a fan for life because you made my 9-year-old daughter squeal and scream and laugh. And I've never seen a smile on her face like that. And you have so much goodwill in the bank, you can never do anything wrong. And it's amazing. And this guy's like, how much do I owe you for this? It was a hoodie and a message. And nothing. You owe me nothing, man. The email you just sent me, I have chills on my neck, honestly, and I'm holding back the choked up. Yeah, I need a sec. I said nothing. The email that you're sending me is why I did it. Shit. I guess we're not going to finish this. So if you're a new creator, or if you're Joe Scott and you're wondering how I did it and how I build the community, you're seeing it now. You respect the audience, you care about them, you remember that they're people. They're the thoughts that you're having in your mind right now as an individual sentient person. Those folks on the other end in the comments that show up in the live streams, each and every one of those is a person just like you. And you got to treat them like that. And without you guys, there's no channel. So without you guys, there's no gold play button. There's no Hecklefish. There's no Hecklefish for President mug, which you can get at shop.thewhyfiles.com. See, I'll do a joke to stop myself from crying. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. 26 minutes, man. Maybe I can edit out the me getting choked up. Nah, screw it. We'll leave it. I think I have a couple more backstage for you, but I need a break.